we live? Yes, we are live. Well, hello there, private practice success community. I hope you don't get car sick from driving along with me this afternoon, because this is such a bumpy road. I am in the car on the way from Agnes Waters to Bundaberg. And by the way, if this is the first time that you're on my live stream, say hi, say hello. Even if you're watching the replay, my name of course is Gerda Mala. I'm a clinical psychologist and a private practice success coach and mentor, and I will show you see at the moment. So this is the road, a very bumpy road, so excuse the bumpy video. And how quiet is this road compared to what we have in Brisbane? Look, there's actually two cars. Hey Monique, how are you? There's some more cars coming now, but it's so quiet to what it is that we are used to seeing in Brisbane. I was just telling everyone that I am currently driving from Agnes Water to Bundaberg. My husband sitting right over here, chauffeuring, driving this rental car. We flew up this morning from Brisbane bright and early at 8:30. Flew up to Bundaberg, drove the 90 minutes to Agnes Water, and did a bit of inspection of some land that we are looking into acquiring as part of our retirement plan. I've always said that I want to retire at the beach one day. My husband wants to retire in the forest. So we are combining the best of both worlds and hopefully finding a little plot of land in the Agnes Water region where it's nice and quiet, and yeah, we can do all those things that we've always wanted to do when we retire, and retire the way that we want to. Luckily, that is still a lot of years off. I don't think I will ever honestly retire. That's just who I am. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. We are now on our way back to Bundaberg. We're going to catch the 5:30 flight back home to Brisbane, and getting our kids. The lovely Abby is home watching the three, so that the two of us can gallivant here and do this fun stuff. And it has really been fun, actually. It's been so fast, right? But I thought, I'm sitting in the car doing nothing. I did consider napping. I did put my seat down. I closed my eyes for a bit, but nothing was happening. So I thought, I'll just speak to my people. I'll just speak to my people. So I got up, set up everything. So now I'm here talking to you guys. And I thought what I might do is talk to you a bit more about subcontracting. So you may or may not know that next week, Tuesday, I am running a subcontracting masterclass. And I think last I checked, we had 17 people signed up for that masterclass, 17 practice owners. I haven't checked it all today. So there might be probably more than 20 by now. Practice owners signed up to do that 90-minute masterclass with me, where I'm going to be taking people through the 6 clauses that absolutely must be in your subcontracting agreement in order to ensure that it's compliant. And then we're going to talk about, okay, so that's step 1. How do I operationalize those clauses, right? What do I do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that I stick to it? What does these clauses mean in terms of processes, procedures and stuff at the practice, right? And we're also going to talk about the balance of evidence test, and then we're going to have an extensive Q&A at the end of all of that, so that everybody leaves with all their questions answered. So I thought what I might do, first and foremost, I'm going to just plug my phone in, because it just told me my battery's low. Here we go, I'll plug that in. So I thought what I might share with you guys, seeing that this is really the topic of discussion of the last week or two, and it's come up with a lot of practice owners that I've been speaking to. And a lot of people ask me, Gerda, why do you prefer to subcontract? Now, there's a lot of different reasons. So I'm just going to share the first couple that pops into my head. First, what I would say is that I've got nothing against employing, right? I've got a provisional psychologist that is employed. I also employ my principal psychologist, who's the main kahuna back at the practice. She's the big chief. She runs the show that allows me to do what I do and, you know, go to Bundaberg and act as warders and do stuff like that. So those are the two employees we have at the practice. Of course, I employ all my administrative staff, people doing the accounts at the front desk, practice manager, all of that type of thing. It still says low battery. Just want to make sure. Oh, it says it's not supported. I wonder why it says that. Anyway, I might just move it and plug it into this. Oh no, is this the only place to plug it in? I don't know this car so well because it's a rental. Accessory may not be supported, it tells me. Okay, we'll just keep on talking until we until the phone goes dead. So as I was saying, I do employ people, but for my clinician team I do prefer subcontracting. My very first two clinicians I ever had at the practice, oh, this road is so bumpy, were clinicians, were employees actually. Reason being that I didn't even know subcontracting existed at that point in time. And they were actually amazing employees. But I did find that even though they were there, they had really good retention rates, they were really great at their job. I always felt this pressure on myself and the responsibility on myself to make sure that the diary is full, right? And I was constantly, really obsessively checking the diary, checking. How many clients do we have this week coming in? Oh, there's been 2 cancellations. Get onto it. And it was such an anxiety-driven process for me. And I don't know, maybe it was because I was new at it, right? Maybe it was because I didn't have a coach or a mentor. I didn't even know those things existed back in the day when I started my private practice. I'm sure they did. I just didn't know about them, right? And I just didn't like it. I didn't like the stress associated with having them. And I think they did well because, you know, I was really on the ball. As I said, I was obsessively checking that the client appointments were booked so that I knew that I could pay the wages and all the entitlements and all of that stuff and still pay the practice bills. And I just started to think to myself, you know, this is easy enough with 2 people, but if you've got 10, 12, 20 people working for you, it's going to drive me crazy, right? And then I came across the subcontracting model and I really looked into it. I heard about other practices doing it, and I thought I wanted to try my hand at it and see how that works. And and what's the saying? You know, when you've done it and then you continue to do it. I don't know what the saying is, but you know, that was it. The saying is, and the rest, as they say, is history, right? It just really felt so much better to me because I finally felt that now we are in this together, okay? Because if the client doesn't come or the appointment doesn't get booked, the practice doesn't get paid and the clinician doesn't get paid, right? So it's in both our own best interest to make sure that there's clients coming through, to make sure that open appointments get filled. It's not all just on me. Yes, I still have systems and processes in place in the practice through great administrative support to help that process, but I don't have to do it. I don't have to employ somebody just to do that one job, right? Because now it's a team effort, and it's so much easier when clinicians can actually be proactive and go, oh, this is my list of clients, reception, please call them in, which often didn't happen when you have employees, let's just face it, right? So I just felt the pressure was off me through this arrangement, and it just felt like a fairer partnership in this relationship, right? For me personally, if I had to work for somebody else in their private practice, I would actually prefer to be a subcontractor, okay? And I like to give people what I want, right? That just makes sense in my head, because to me as a clinician, if I subcontract, I have so much more control. But the most important sense of control that I like to have, which is maybe why I'm a business owner as well, is how much money I make. Okay, I know that if I step things up and I sell stuff or I present workshops or courses, the more I do it, the more money I make, right? And it's the same with the clinician team. I think if you're a subcontractor, it's very easy for you to go, I actually have decided I want to go to Hawaii come June, July when it's winter in Australia. I want to go and have a lovely holiday there. But I need to make some extra money. Maybe I want to make an extra $5,000 over the next 3 months. It's easy to do. All you need to do is do more hours. The control is within your grasp, right? Whereas if you are an employee, you're just going to be earning the same amount of money every week. You're not going to be able to just make an extra $5,000 at the drop of the hat. You can do that when you are a subcontractor. All you need to be willing to do is do more hours, right? It's so easy. I think sometimes clinicians actually want more money without doing more work. Life doesn't work that way, right? And it's about reminding yourself as a clinician that I have the power here to put my foot on that pedal as hard or as softly as possible. So the less I work, the less I make, right? The more I work, the more I make. Isn't that like the ultimate sense of responsibility, the ultimate sense of control, the ultimate sense of ownership? Hey Claire, how are you going? Lost path. And that's what I would prefer, right? Most definitely. I also think that a lot of clinicians themselves look at being an employee and they go, oh, it's nice consistent income, right? It's nice consistent money. But when I look at my subcontractors in my practice, they earn consistently. I think there's very much a misconception, and I spoke, when was it, yesterday potentially? I spoke on a live stream where I said that subcontracting has almost become like a dirty word in our industry, like you're bad if you're running the subcontracting model. That's good to hear, Claire. And it's because there's this misconception that if you subcontract, you're not going to earn consistent money, which is so far from the truth, right? I look at what my clinicians earn at my practice and they earn an amazing income, and they earn that consistently. However, they are good at what they do, right? They are good at engaging clients. They are good at building rapport. They are good at retaining their clients and ensuring that the clients do not drop out of sessions, but that they actually do the full course of treatment as required for the presenting issue that they're coming in for. Now, of course, if a clinician is not good at doing these things, i.e. their level of skills is not what it should be, then that's going to impact their level of consistent income, right? But that's their responsibility to address and to work on. So as long as you know that you are good at being a psychologist or good at being whatever it is that your profession is within the allied health industry, you've got nothing to worry about when you're subcontracting, right? Don't make it about the practice owner. It really comes down to you. You've got so much control, which is why this is a really great model for you. You just need to be good at your job. That's all. And you need to work. What is that? Is that a fire? Can you see that? I'll show you guys. It's like a lot of, I'm not sure what it is. I've just got distracted by that smoke. Well, maybe we'll see when we get closer to it. Sugarcane mill. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess I've made a lot of points there. If you've got any questions, you've got any comments, if you want to challenge me in any way, shape or form in terms of your opinions on the matter, please feel free to do so. I'm always open to hearing other people's experiences. This has just been my experience with my team. This is just what I've seen in terms of how beneficial subcontracting has been for me as an individual, for me as a business, but also for my clinician team, right? In terms of them really having control over what they earn. And to some extent, it actually makes clinicians that might be struggling in the start with client retention, with client engagement and building rapport to actually work on their skills through a reflective practice exercise and through supervision. And that's not a bad thing, right? That's a good thing, because when they continue working at my practice or any other practice, when they start their own practice, or whether they go somewhere to be employed, it means that they're going to leave a better employee or better subcontractor or better clinician for wherever else they're going, because they've worked on those skills. It means that the next client that they see, wherever else they're going to be, is going to get a better mental health service. So to some extent, subcontracting really forces clinicians to hone their skills, because unless you're good at what you do, your clients will stop coming. That's just how it is. That's just a fact of life, right? And it's really how it should be. Clients shouldn't just come, if you're not doing a good job. Where is it? It's over there. So I don't see that as a bad thing, but people don't like it because it means that sometimes they need to acknowledge that their skills ain't what it should be, right? And no judgment there. We all need to learn. The day that I walked out of masters, I really felt like I still knew nothing. I knew nothing. You start your masters, you go, oh, I'm going to be so clever when I leave here, and I'm going to gain so much knowledge and information. The day I left, I thought, oh my goodness, how can I go and see clients? It's like there's so much more I need to learn, right? And I think that is a really important mindset to have, especially as a new clinician, but to, even as an experienced clinician, to always think about how can I get better at what it is that I'm doing, how can I learn more, and really have that consistent learning mindset. So I hope that was helpful, just giving you a little bit of insight into my preference, into why it is that I have embraced the subcontracting model. Again, I do have employees, but that's the primary model that I use for my clinical team. And just based on what I've just explained to you guys, I really feel that it's in everybody's best interest, even the clients, because it forces the clinicians to step up and hone their skills if needed. It gives the clinician that freedom to have control over their income, and for the practice, it's just easier because we don't have that pressure on us the whole time to ensure that clients, that each and every appointment is booked. It is now a combined effort by everybody on the team. Yes, so I hope that was helpful. As I said, if you have not enrolled as yet into the masterclass, I'll put the link into the comments section. I'm going to say goodbye for now. We are nearing the airport, not too far away now, here in Bundaberg, so we can catch our flight back home to Brisbane. And I'll see you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. And remember, as always, all you need to do is say yes to your very own ultimate level 5 private practice. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.